this area. Father, as the farmers are out working, watch over them and help all the people on the roads to be safe. Father, we ask that you watch over the troops that are defending us worldwide. May your care be upon them. Lord, what a privilege it is to live in Daviess County and to have had your blessing these last 2 centuries. Father, we ask that we would follow you in the coming years. What a privilege it is to be governed by our friends and neighbors. Father, as once again this meeting is for the good of this county and surrounding area. Father, as these men and women give of their time, talent, and treasure, we just ask that everyone that serves this county would not be burdened, but would find blessing serving their friends and neighbors. This we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Byron. And just a quick housekeeping. I know Grant and I, we have a funeral at 10 a.m. that we're going to leave a little early in case we're not finished. So
No, you got to get it done.
if we excuse ourselves, we're not mad at Commissioner Taylor or Arnold.
Might be.
Or probably not mad at him, but
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. All right. We had a special meeting on August 25th at the Highway Department. That was an open meeting, public meeting.
Updated bids.
That we evaluated the updated bids for the salt building, so. Everyone should have received a copy of the minutes. Should be 2 sets of minutes, one for the 8:25 meeting and then one for the August 22nd Board of Commissioners meeting. Were there any changes that anyone needed to make? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve both.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. Chris, good morning. You look a lot younger. What have you done with yourself?
It was getting kind of warm. I guess on the salt building bids, we had opened them and tentatively accepted the low bid from DC Metal, pending my review of it. And I reviewed it and everything looks in order. And I've talked to Kenneth Swartzentruber of DC Metal, and I think he's right on with his bid and what we're wanting and what he's wanting to provide us. And we actually have another meeting tomorrow, and hopefully we'll start breaking some ground on it. So I guess if we want to officially accept that bid.
Okay. Yeah, we have a bid before us from Daviess County Metal in the amount of $1,018,000 for the salt/multi-purpose building. Commissioners, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I have no other questions. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Second.
Would point out that we did receive another bid, and this is the low bid.
Oh, yeah, we received 2 bids total. This is the low bid. A second by Commissioner Arnold. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thanks, Chris.
Then the project updates just on the Montgomery Bridge project. I think they're gonna finish doing concrete this week. Next week, they're gonna start laying asphalt for the approaches to the bridge. It's still scheduled to be open October 31st. They might be waiting on a guardrail that goes around one of the end caps that's got to be custom made. We don't think that's going to stop us from having the bridge open. So that's all I got today, unless anybody's got any questions.
Anything about the Open Canterbury Road on the joints?
No, I have sent an email out to Milestone about that, and I've sent an email out to at the beginning of the week to the Mike Costello, the consultant for the 700 East. I was wanting to get information back to give you guys updates on that.
Okay.
And I haven't received anything officially from Milestone or from the surety company with the coal mine road that's closed that we're trying to get open.
Sounds good.
But I did guess I'll update you when they email me back. I think that's it.
Great.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Next up, we got the IRAX program jail update. I think we have a whole crew back there. Vanessa, good morning. Good, thank you.
I hope all of you received, it's pretty lengthy, but our year-end report for the 2020, what year is it? 2022, 2023 grant cycle for the IRAX program. I apologize, I'm functioning on like 4 hours of sleep, so. Our program was pretty successful in the first year. Across all 5 sites, the IRAX program saw an overall reduction in recidivism of around 80%, which is pretty significant considering it's pretty difficult to measure recidivism rates. But for those individuals that stayed engaged, participated in our programming and support, and that we were able to follow once they were released from jail and connected to resources, we had a very high success rate. We have received funding for year 2. That funding was actually increased by almost $100,000. So we were able to bring all that money here to Daviess County for our staff that's in the jail. The jail was also able to receive an additional $30,000 to support the program as well for year 2. I didn't know if you gentlemen had any questions in regards to the report, if you had reviewed it, that I could answer for you today.
You mentioned 80%. What's it run without the program, or do you have those numbers?
So like I said, recidivism is very hard to track.
Right.
That was purposely what we were tracking because that's the intention of our program, is to reduce that rate. But recidivism rates are around the 20 to 27% success rates of people not becoming reincarcerated. So we were able to actually, of the population that we tracked, we were able to have a significant improvement. So everyone that left the jail that we were engaged with had a completed recovery plan, which is like a treatment plan for us. So we had goals, objectives for them that they were wanting to follow. Once they left the jail, they had housing, jobs lined up, driver's license, birth certificates, social security cards, and then we were able to make sure that they made their treatment appointments and then connected them with our community peer team, which is funded through the hospital grant program currently.
Okay.
For year 2, it's a requirement for us to have community stakeholders and community partners. Like last year around this time, I came before you with an MOU that essentially is just an agreement that you're in support of our program and that you're here to acknowledge that our program is beneficial and supporting it. So I brought that with me today, and I sent a copy as well to Jennifer for you all to review. I would just ask for a signature on that MOU if possible today.
Yeah, I guess, I would like to maybe reach out to some of the jail staff and just have some conversations on how the program's working from a day to day. I'm sure there's not gonna be any issues, but I know we just received all this information just a few days ago, so. Could we sign it at the next commissioners meeting?
I believe that's okay, yes.
Okay.
That's the one that,
The next one.
Tuesday.
The 26th.
2 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and I can come back for that meeting if needed to.
Don't worry about coming back. If there's any need for you to come back, I'll let you know.
Oh, I just have a master copy with that'll have everyone's signatures on, so I would just ask that the original be signed so that
Okay.
way I can keep it orderly if possible.
Sure. Okay. You guys okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
I'll entertain a motion to table the MOU for IRAX until the September 26th meeting.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes
Aye.
3-0. Okay, next up, we got some estimates for the electrical work for the government center. part of the relocation plan, yeah, Jeremy or Dale, whoever wants to come up can. Part of the relocation plan is to obviously get the basement equipped for some temporary offices. And some of the rate limiting steps we're dealing with is obviously, we don't have the bids back yet. We were hoping to get the bids out by Labor Day, but obviously that's been delayed. So until we get the actual bids for the project back, we want to be cautious on how much capital investment we put forth in case the bids come back just crazy high. With the annex basement, these features will need to be made regardless at some point for us to utilize the basement for future offices. So anyway, I just want to kind of clarify that. So Dale, Jeremy, whoever wants to take the lead, go ahead.
Sure. So we took the relocation set of plans. We went out and sought 3 prime proposals. Sought bids on those proposals. So we have 3 proposals to present to you. First being for what we had labeled as kind of the general trades work and sprinkler modifications. Received a quote from, and this is wall framing, base, painting the 38.5 feet of new wall to kind of help demise the space, and then checking that the sprinkler systems to make sure occupancy is corrected and current coverage isn't altered or needs altered from a modification perspective. That first proposal we're seeking approval from is from Tabor Owens Construction Group, $10,950. Second proposal is for the HVAC scope. So this is creating some new drops in zones from a comfort perspective of while the space is being utilized in the interim during the construction project of the courthouse for the occupants that are in there. That proposal is from Buchanan Mechanical of $9,685. Then Dale sought a proposal from Drew Electric for the electric scope of the project. So this is the main scope of providing power, conduits power, raceways for connections of computers and systems and phones and such that are going to be down in the area. That proposal from Drew Electric is $18,270. And then the remaining scope, which is all the low voltage data IT, Dale will be taking that on from the county's perspective as well. So when we have those costs collected, then we'll update that into the cost sheet collected for this. So really the only thing we'll have next from a purchase perspective, I have a meeting today with a local office solutions firm to start working with each department head on furniture relocations and those moves. That'll all come from that same budget line interim relocation expense allowance that we've identified early on in the budget. So we'll have those 3 proposals for the relocation. And then the only other item I have is getting approval for the Bloodhound private utilities. We've had them proceed and scheduled for this upcoming Friday. They'll be coordinated by Dennis Helms. We'll resubmit that proposal through our CMA, Carmong CMA contract as a reimbursement, and that was $2,075.
Okay. And how long, I'm assuming that that's what RQAW is waiting on?
Yes, so Dennis will be out there and he'll have, that day, he'll have the locations of those to plot into his survey then.
So when will RQAW have those?
Talking with Dennis, probably gonna be Monday.
Monday, so 9/18, okay. When will you, RQAW, be ready to get this thing back to Garmong for bid? So 14 days will be 10/2, October 2nd-ish. Then Garmong, okay, then Garmong, you get it back October 2nd. When are we gonna get this out to bid?
So we usually have about a week with it then. So if we're at 10/2, we're gonna have a week, and then we'll get advertisements in queue with that as well, public advertisement.
Okay,
And then usually we have a two-week bid period.
so it'll be out 9/10, and then bids back
Maybe 10, 10, right?
10/10,
10/10, yeah,
and then bids will be back 10/24.
for us, yeah.
Okay.
Think we'll have bids back that quick?
Typically, what we're gonna do is, I'm always gonna recommend that we ensure that we allow what market responses we're seeing. There's time requests right now, a lot of, we want participation, so if we
Yeah,
need to
right.
extend a few days or add
Right.
a couple days, we might do that via.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not trying to rush the bids here, but I know we've been,
You're not-
13
you're not.
months, we've been measuring judges' offices and desk heights for 13 months, so carpet samples, and I think we're ready to move on. And we've got some other decisions that we're gonna have to make as commissioners that we can't make until these bids come back. So whether we're gonna buy a $200,000 storage system for the clerk books, which we need to buy, because there's a lead time, but if the bids come back extremely high and we gotta to delay it, then we don't wanna buy this system. So
Yep.
got some other decisions that are gonna get backed up, so that's why, so Halloween, basically, we're gonna have a bridge cutting, ribbon cutting for the bridge, and, maybe some
Awarding bids.
construction documents, maybe.
Sledgehammer ceremony.
Yeah,
There you
truly. But once we get, I just wanna make sure I'm clear, though, once we get the bids, obviously, we gotta vet them out, we will not rush that process.
Absolutely.
But I feel like we're slogging along here a little bit, so we just need to get this stuff done, and, so, okay,
Jeremy, the numbers that you mentioned are all below, the total's below $50,000.
Correct.
I'm gonna get both of you, just so that you're aware, I don't wanna slow anything down, but we do have like a procurement policy when we're doing these things, and then obviously we have to follow public works statutes. So I wanna make sure that you guys have those in your head, just as you're going through this.
Absolutely.
very great, so, what do you need, I know you need the Bloodhound approved today. Is there anything else you need us to approve?
So the work that's here, they got about a 2-week period of constructing the wall, getting the electric roughed in. I don't know how much period you have on your end.
He said he could start in as soon as about 7 days. How long it was gonna take him, he thought probably 7 to 10 days.
So holistically, it's about a 2-week period to have that prepped and ready and that work completed to get occupants ready to move in. The
Okay.
HVAC has a little bit of lead times on some of the equipment, but that's more from a comfort perspective, so it's not critical to
Okay.
occupancy or life safety of anything.
Okay. Well, I'm personally comfortable with the annex basement, because, I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, but if those bids come back twice as high and we decide just to do the HVAC windows and tuck pointing, then we still have to move those folks out.
Goes out, yeah.
So,
I think we need to move forward with it.
you okay
The
with
basement,
that?
yes.
Our one sticking point on that right now is there's nowhere in the basement for these guys to work yet. Still full. Be able to get
We gotta get,
there and run conduits and above everything and behind and up to the walls, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the stuff
get the stuff out of the
It's down there.
storage somewhere else.
out of these guys' way before they start.
Yeah, I know the hangar is gonna be done by the end of October, is the last I heard, so if we need to move it out temporarily, I don't know if we can move it into the old highway garage, just temporarily, just to find space. We're gonna find some open space, obviously, to move this stuff into, so. I've only been in the highway garage once, and it seemed to have space in there.
Well, there's where the office was, but there's very little space. I don't know if it all fit in there. Oh, Lord.
I'm just thinking about it's like we got pallets of old tile and stuff in there, from this.
Jen had sent out an email that, there is a building down here,
On
2,000
August
square
Street.
foot, it's
Oh,
reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care to rent space, but I just wanna make sure we maximize the space we have first, and then if we need to find any additional space, so. I'll let Dale, if you and Scott don't mind to spearhead that, cause you'll know when it needs to be moved out and how much space we need. We could use the highway garage temporarily until we get the hangar done, then we don't have to worry about a lease for additional space, but if not, then we gotta go to Ogden.
Right.
Okay.
So as far as the electric goes, get back a hold of them, tell them, and then I'll have him work with Jeremy on timing.
Yeah.
When Jeremy needs him in there to do, and I can get back with him,
Go ahead and
tell him where to
Okay.
go.
You okay with
Move
that?
forward,
Yes.
yeah. I think we need to move forward with the basement.
And
Okay.
we need to know where to pay this stuff from.
Keep pulling out county buildings until we need to get a replenishment.
You had it covered, the cost, right?
But yes, we're budgeting
Part of
for
the
it. It's
budget.
in your soft cost budget under that, interim relocation expense.
So it's a part of all that.
Yes.
Appropriate, is it?
Yeah. All right, so I'd entertain a motion, that motion to go ahead and approve the Bloodhound utility locate
Yeah, and then all the
and the, move forward with all the
relocation stuff for the basement.
Proposal 1, 2, and 3.
proposal 1, 2, and 3 for the annex basements.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I just have one question. Seems like the delay has been the topo survey and the utility locate. Why wasn't that ordered at the onset of the project? Well, I mean, it could have been done at any time, right?
Yeah, I mean, the reason for, I guess, the utilities is replacement of those lines.
I mean, I understand that, but why wasn't it ordered long before the end of the design phase? Because it seems like that's what's holding us up. We've lost about a month because of that, so guess I'll make a mental note on the next one.
Good.
Okay, thanks, folks. Okay, next up, we've got the general obligation bonds, Baker Tilly.
Scott did you have an estimate for the parking lot
Oh, I'm sorry.
back up there on
Yeah, Scott, come on
number
up.
5?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Okay, we have estimates, we have 2 submitted estimates for the parking lot power stations. I suggest we take a little bit of A&R for $19,900, and be one of 2 projects we can get finished up. Along with that, we have a estimate from Donnie Grass Construction, tear out that little concrete pad, and so we can put in aluminum conduit instead of the plastics that's there, reshape that area.
Yeah, that, where the transformer sits in the parking lot. We ran all that conduit over to a general area. We didn't know exactly if the city was gonna allow us to use the transformer to mount stuff on. We actually had to build a pedestal or something. And so it was pouring concrete all at the same time, and nothing ever got done with the electrical, so the concrete just got poured right around that conduit as is. So there's probably a pad, probably, 4 by 6 needs to be tore out, re-poured. And I asked at the time if we re-poured that concrete to pour a little 4 by 4 piece of concrete right across the street here where everybody walks through the gravel, just straight across from the entrance there at the same time. So I think that's a quote that Scott's got from Don Grass.
Okay,
I believe that quote's 1,800.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that the intent of that parking lot was to have it be used by the public.
Right.
To have these receptacle outlets throughout, so that, you know, whatever social events or carnivals or food trucks or whatever could use that public space in the center of downtown. What was the goal as we
Right.
built it? So, I mean, I would like to see it get completed to that usable state, and then the community will determine how it's used. So, but it's not a need, but I think it'd make it a little nicer to have this finished, so. So, what's your thoughts, gentlemen? You guys want to proceed?
I'd like to proceed and get it done. We've been working on it for the last 3 years. And it's been a challenge to get somebody to actually give us a quote on it to finalize it. So I'd like to see it done too, for the community to use anytime.
I would approve all 3.
You're okay moving
Yes,
forward with it? Okay. County building,
Yeah, county building fund.
county building. All right, I'd entertain a motion to go ahead and proceed with the parking lot completions and accept the, we've got 3 bids here total, to be paid out county building,
Yeah, A&R and Dongrass.
A&R and Dongrass, and, yeah.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah. So we have another estimate, only one submitted from Daviess Electric for the phase loss monitor and the lightning arrestor for this building. Something that should have been done during the construction and it was put aside. So we need to get that put on. It's already cost us a pretty good lump sum on the heating and AC failure of that. That's already being replaced, so now we need to fix the real problem. So that estimate, base bid was $19,450.
Okay. And what's the TVSS, what is that again? Is that,
That's the phase loss monitor, so if we have a brownout, we'll pick up the power and so it doesn't burn electronics up.
okay. All right, gentlemen, what do you think?
I know we've already replaced the control panel for the HVAC for this building, and it wasn't cheap. It was $10,000 something. So one more of those. Did they? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're around $13,000 loss on that, so that would've went a long way to pay for this in the first place, and just something that got past the manager.
Yeah, it should have been put on when the building was built. If you don't do it, it will shorten the life of your equipment. So I'm all in favor.
Okay. Should still have plenty left in county buildings.
93,000.
Yeah, it was at 93, so I think we're still running good there. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the invoice in the amount of $19,450.
So moved.
The motion made by, out of county building, motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Also, I need something that came up Friday. We had a compressor go down on a unit in the Community Corrections Building. Those 2 buildings are basically double-wide trailers. There's 2 units per building. I need to kind of feel you guys out, see if you want to start, keep fixing things, or go ahead and start looking at new replacements. I assume those are original equipment. Got a lot of years on them. Been kind of fixing as we go, and it's getting more expensive. That is an R22 system. The refrigerant for that is just astronomical right now. You go with new units for a little more money, or 134 refrigerant. That would also be not only AC, that would be new furnaces systems. So on the left side there, you can see the difference in cost. I want to discuss that until we got more estimates, but
You've got them up and going right now.
we have one down.
One down right now.
It went down Friday, so that building's operating on half hour right now.
What's down is just the compressor down.
Compressor's down. And that second number would be what it costs to fix one compressor. We have to fix all 4. I mean, we've got half the price of new units, entire units in both buildings.
Regarding the units we currently have, I mean, how old are they? Are they all the same age? Have
It's
we
unknown, because
bought them?
those 2 buildings are old.
I understand that, but I mean, when a compressor goes out, we get a new compressor. Is one of them new, or all 2 of them new, or?
That's where we're at right now. Do we want to buy a new compressor, old refrigerant?
That's my question. It's on the 4 systems we have there now. Do we feel that they were all purchased at the same time, or are they staggered?
I feel like they're original equipment.
They're
Came
original.
with the
Okay,
Are we, so do you got 2 air handlers in each building? Or is 2 air handlers?
They're vertical units that hang on the side of the building. So they're like a central air unit with heat in it.
So that's, so it's
They are in
like a
bad
portable
shape.
building, so it is
is
completely,
it both,
They are
is it what we
antiques.
call a split system?
no, it's not a mini split.
It's not a
No,
mini split.
this is basically a
Okay,
office heating and air system.
I think we need to do a little research, because I think maybe a mini split, couple mini splits per building may be enough to heat and cool the building.
If we can tie them into the original duct system. And that's the catch.
yeah, those mini splits usually don't have a duct system.
Yeah.
Got head units everywhere.
But I feel like it's a no-brainer. I don't think we want to keep putting money into something that's,
Right,
I mean, the lines are old, everything's old about it.
right. You're saying 26,000 gets us 4 brand new units, 11,000 gets us 4 rebuilt.
And that's just the AC side. So if things start going wrong with the furnaces, then we're into more money.
Furnace is in the same unit,
Yes.
so it's all in that hanging thing on the outside.
So if we go with new units, everything's new.
Got the building, we had looked at relocating some corrections. That's the decision
They're
has to be made at some point in time, will they be relocated? I don't wanna put 30,000 into a system if we're gonna use it for a couple of years. They're gonna stay down there for the next 10 years.
say they're gonna be down there for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna be,
I don't wanna
have the
spend-
capacity, I mean, to build anything nowadays, I mean, $750 million and after the courthouse, I mean, the naive Commissioner Gabhart thought they were gonna fit in the courthouse. We can't even fit the clerk's books in there. What to do, how's that old county building fund? We had 90, I mean, that's what it's there for, I mean, we had 90 some in there. Are we have 26 left in there? Throw out your suggestions on the peanut gallery.
Oh, if they're gonna be there 10
I mean, they
years,
gotta be replaced, right?
replace them.
They gotta be
If they're gonna
replaced.
be there 2 years, no.
Gotta be replaced because, I mean, there has been any discussion to relocate them, and then where and buying the land. I mean, it's $1 to $2 million.
So if you wanna play it out and you replace them, and you end up relocating them and selling the property and the buildings. Of course, we don't own the property, we rent the property,
Rent it.
but the buildings
Be worth something.
would hopefully increase the value of the system, so if we
Where's Laura at? I saw her this morning. Did she scoot out? Okay, we have any money left? You didn't say no. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion, replace 4 units. I'll go to the council if we need more.
I think we'll probably have to go to the council.
Or we're gonna be getting pretty
Yeah,
close.
because we're gonna get down, our budget's gonna get pretty low here.
All right. Entertain replacing the 4 units, community corrections, the amount of $26,000, be paid out county building or other said fund.
How's it, how's it a round number? 26,000 even.
Ish,
Ish.
yeah. It says 26,000
Is that what it is?
ish.
Well, 25,860.
25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is at the
down
bottom. I
there.
see it down there now too.
Okay.
You're up 26,000 up here.
Yeah, we gotta save every dollar we can. 25,865. Surely we got that in there. Entertain that motion.
It'll be close. So moved.
If not, we'll move it. A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Okay. Next up, we got the Baker Tilly obligation bonds. Let's see, where did that go? I just have it in my hand. Grant, you know anything about that?
So this is an engagement letter from Baker Tilly as a financial advisor on the bonds. Mainly, this has been run through council relative to terms and what that will look like, who will purchase the bonds, et cetera. The letter went out a couple weeks ago to local banks. Is that right, Jen? Our main people that we work with there are Jason Simler, Caitlin Cheek, and a couple other folks. They provided a number that they don't think that this will exceed. That's not in this document, but, yeah, this is for Baker Tilly relative to the bonds.
Do you know what that number to exceed was?
I think it was $30,000, is that right? Their work on the general obligation bonds.
Personally, I've always liked working with Umball and Baker Tilly. I think they do great work. I've always had a concern with their range. I mean, $295 to $525 per hour. It's just such a wide range, and we don't know what we're paying
And who's doing what?
and who's
we're
doing
paying,
what. But
yeah.
so the not to exceed number is critically important. And at the end of the day, I mean, who else is going to do it, and what can we do it for? $30,000 is obviously a
Lot of money.
significant amount, but
And I do think it's not a not to exceed, not to be a bearer of bad news. I mean, it's an estimate based on what they currently know. We have to go a different direction on the bonds.
it could
This-
be more.
What we told them was to get it as quickly and as cheaply as possible. Get us the money as quickly and cheaply as possible.
And these have been their rates for every year that
Yeah.
I've been a commissioner, it seems, so. Gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it.
Okay,
I've worked with Jason for a number of years. He's a good guy, but again, their billing to me is suspect as far as we don't know, not saying they're doing anything wrong. But I would remind everybody, this is the same firm that just a year and a half ago told us that we'd be running up a deficit. Magically, we found more money, and they're saying the bond. I've asked him, where's the bond payments coming from? And he believes it'll come out of the general fund, but that hasn't been tied down yet. And so we went from running a deficit to now there's enough money to pay for this bond. And again, in fairness to him, it's based on the information that he was paid to look at. But he did not handle the grant dollars that were flowing through the county properly, and that's what threw everything off. So, they do good work, but they still have to be looked at. And again, I don't think, the old saying is that every 3 years you need to switch accountants, attorneys, and insurance companies. And I'm not saying that needs to be done on this, but we don't know what the other firms would charge. Not been checked into, but again, this is kind of the council issue too. So
right.
I have no problem approving it, but it needs further
Cautiously approving.
investigation. Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and entertain that motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, motion to approve by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Okay, next up, Rosetta. Hi, Rosetta. The bulk copy
Nick.
services.
Morning.
I've got Nick Fankhauser here with DocsPop, and he's going to do some explaining on the bulk imaging, and so that way everybody can kind of understand how it all will work, and that way maybe we can get moving forward with it, and so hopefully we can explain anything that you need to,
Okay.
or any concerns or anything with that. We did, I think at the last meeting when I was here, there was a price set for the copies. I think the watermark, you had went ahead and approved that and signed that. And there was a range for what we were gonna charge up to 20 cents. And I did some checking on that, and I think we want to try to do the max amount that we can get, which is the 20 cents. DocsPop will be handling all this service for us. They are already handling our documents. As we record them, they go out to the public on the DocSpot website. And so this is the same company, and they would handle all this service with the bulk imaging. So they would get 3 cents of the 20 cents. We would get the 17 cents. So if we can get that all signed and in place too, through.
Did we do an ordinance like this in the past, or did we do an agreement like this in the past with DocSpot? I thought we did.
I think probably you had an ordinance when you started with us, because money had to go into the Enhanced Access Fund. That was probably at least 10 years ago, maybe 15.
So yeah, 20 cents per page is what the user pays. On this last page here, it says our cost per bulk image produced is 49 cents.
So that's probably the cost study. The way this works is there's an Indiana statute that gives you that range of 10 to 20 cents that you can charge, and then you do a cost study to justify whatever it is you choose. Sounds like the cost study justifies well over 20, so we're right up against the limit there.
Okay. So is it costing us 49 cents a page? Or what is this thing? It says Daviess County.
That's probably
Like all of our equipment, everything that we have in our office.
Right.
And that's what they're taking into consideration, I think.
That's for everything. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess my question is, if someone wants to print an image off of a document, are we subsidizing 29 cents a page? Or are we using those expenses elsewhere?
Probably using,
Okay.
it's, yeah,
They're taking their entire office, so they're using.
Bulk use is not what you're doing every day, correct?
no.
Correct. So the bulk image is like a year or 2 years of documents that you guys have recorded that a company is asking for. So whenever a company comes and asks for a big range of all documents that they have recorded, that's what they're referring to.
A lot of like the larger companies, like title companies, mostly probably.
the companies that buy this are companies like First American Financial,
Right.
Black Knight Financial Services.
Okay.
Zillow is sometimes interested.
Well, I'm just wondering, when it says cost per bulk image produced, 49 cents, to me, I take that as meaning that that's the cost per bulk image produced. And they were charging 20 cents, so are the taxpayers paying 29 cents of Zillow's request?
No, as with many Indiana statutes, it's the company that you've contracted with for the indexing system that's used in the office. So that's the cost per document for recording and maintaining.
Yeah.
So right now, this is money that, it's basically money that's left on the table because nobody's buying it now. If you move ahead with this, they'll start buying it. Probably, my guess would be 2 companies. In some counties, it's as many as 4, but I think based on the size of the county, I'd guess around 2.
That's fine. I'm just more of a fan of a user's tax, especially since it's so
Sounds like it
small.
is.
It says there's only $11,325 of cost attributed to the study, though, so it's not the entire department.
Nathan, to my understanding, just to try to get some clarification, this isn't a taxpayer coming in and getting copies of their images. This is a company actually taking everything that has been recorded out of her
Right.
office and housing it. And the watermark is so that they don't resell our documents. They have to legally come in here and get the copies. So whenever these companies, they take our documents, they will try to be kind of another outsource
Right.
versus coming into our
We're
department.
already incurring the 49 cents regardless.
Right. I believe that's how I've understood it.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. I just want to make
I think
sure.
we're already incurring the 49 cents regardless, no matter what we do.
Okay.
And now we're charging another 20 cents on top of that, so we're gaining some money backwards.
Okay. And I'm just trying to find it.
No, the 20 cents is the max we can charge, right?
Yeah.
So we really don't have a decision as long as we're at the max.
Well, but I mean, the decision is to introduce a new bill in the next legislature and.
At the state level.
I just want to make sure our taxpayers aren't subsidizing these four companies' profits.
Right.
And the way I'm looking, the fifth grade math I'm applying, we are, but I'm being told we're not, so.
Yeah, this-
I'm
this
okay
is
with
One of
this.
those happy situations where we're not asking you for money, we're giving you an opportunity to bring in more income.
Yeah, but my
We'll
concern
actually
is,
save
it's-
some money for the taxpayers
I
ultimately.
don't disagree, but my concern is it's not enough money to cover the cost. So it's less worse than our current state, but anyway, I don't have any opposition against it. I just want to make
I don't
sure if we
either.
need to move that 20 cents, then let's move the 20 cents, so. I'd entertain a motion to,
We at 20 cents now?
Will be.
it will be,
Well, if it goes through, yeah.
yeah.
Well, we definitely want to
I
do that.
think we.
Definitely wanna do
You had
Tax it out now.
you had discussed like 15 cents, I think, at the last, is that correct?
I think
At the
so.
last, I don't think we signed any
Forget that.
paperwork or anything, so.
Yeah, we want, if we can verify our cost is 49 cents a page, we want to charge the maximum.
Maximum amount,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure, so, okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the Docs Pop contract, up to 20 cents.
20 cents. So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And you need approval on the ordinance draft as well, correct? So the ordinance draft has some blanks in it that will need to be filled in, and those are to be
Yes.
the maximum amount, which is 20 cents.
Yeah,
Yes,
there are
there
two
is a-
pieces of paperwork here.
Yes.
One is setting the fee, and then the second is the contract
Contract.
with us to essentially provide that
Do
service.
the work. You want to clarify in your motion that you're signing two things,
Yeah,
an
there's
ordinance
no
and a contract.
Okay, yeah, I'll update the motion to include the contract and the ordinance. And do we have a motion?
Yeah, so moved.
Yeah, so a motion made by Commissioner Taylor.
I was just showing it to you.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I don't recall, have I already signed that contract? Did we send you one?
I think it was blank.
Around and sign my part?
I think,
You can't after the
I
meeting.
think you need to
That's okay.
sign your part.
You can't after the meeting. Thanks. Good to meet you. Thank you, Nick.
Yep, thank you. Okay. I think the next step regarding the courthouse renovation, I think we've tapped on most of those except the file storage
Sign that one.
for the clerk's office.
To follow up on that in the short term, and the lead time that's requested, I think what we need to do today is if we're gonna decide it's gonna be stored in the annex, after the renovation's done, before we get something else built, then we need to have clerk go down and look at the space, and probably you, Michael, where would be a good spot for it. Get the company in and actually measure to determine size, because you can go higher, take up less space, but then you have, how do you access it?
Then later on, if we move it, then we need to make sure the space
Yes.
will require the
But
height
if we
too.
build space, we should be able to build.
Build it the height, yeah.
So I'd like, basically give our clerk direction to, yes, go ahead and get with maybe Michael,
Yeah.
and where would be a good place down there, and then let them come in and get it at least designed to get us a hard price.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that's, makes sense. So, I'd entertain a motion, to go ahead and move forward with the measurements and to get a hard bid on the storage system for the clerk.
Yep, so moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? Good. All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve payroll claims and to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks.
He can do it if he's put under pressure.
Gotta have goals.
Is the wall in the basement for sure going in?
It's the what?